Hello everybody, welcome to Bradford. Hello, we have a bit of theatre for you. Over on my left, we have all these prime ministers. From Cameron to Rishi Sunak. We've come to tell you who are the real climate criminals. Is it people blocking roads or is it our prime ministers? Well, we're going to tell you a story. And the story is about the first Prime Minister, James Cameron. All those years ago, he declared an international climate crisis. That was a really good thing. But then he ignored it. Then he gave more permissions for oil exploration, gas exploration. Seems a bit schizophrenic to me, but there it is. And sorry? David Cameron, sorry, get his name right. Who did we have for David Cameron? After David, I know my history, shouldn't I? After David Cameron, we had Theresa May. Now she declared a climate emergency. She said we will be fossil free by 2050. A whole 27 years time. Do you think we're going to survive that long? I think we're probably not. But there you go, she declared that. But then she decided fossil fuels are not that bad really. What we really need is more fossil fuels. So despite declaring a climate emergency, she then granted more licenses for coal, gas and oil exploration. Following her, we had Boris Johnson. What do we think of Boris? Proven liar, there you go. Proven liar. Do you think he lied to us? You bet your bottom dollar he did. You bet he did. Boris Johnson. He tried to declare a climate emergency, but then he went in, he agreed licenses for Jackdaw and Cambo, some of the biggest fossil fuel explorations in our lifetime. So he's a little bit schizophrenic too. Or was he in the pocket of the oil industry? I don't know, I'll let you decide. So after Boris, who do we get after Boris? Who do we get going to test? Who do we get after Boris?
Rishi!
Rishi! Well done that man. Give him a banana. Yes! Rishi Sunak was the next one. Oh no, it was Liz Truss! Take that banana off him. It was Liz Truss. Liz Truss decided, and how long did she last? Who voted for Liz Truss? Anybody vote for Liz Truss? Anybody? Oh no, none of us did. None of us did. She decided. You didn't vote for Liz Truss, man. There's always one in every crowd. There's always one. Liz Truss was unelected. She was elected by Tory MPs. We had no say in it. She decided that we need to have oil and gas security. That's what she called it, oil and gas security. And to bring prices down, we needed more oil and more gas. Did our prices come down? Has anybody's prices come down? What's happened to our prices? They've gone up! Fancy that. So oil and gas exploration makes us worse off, not better off. Anyway, she didn't last too long. After her came Rishi, Rishi, with his sensible government, with his responsible government. And what has he done? He's just granted 100 new oil and gas licenses for exploration in the North Sea. What do you think that's going to do for us? Do you think that's going to make our energy prices any cheaper? You bet your life it's not. Who's going to make the money out of the oil and the gas? Big companies. Who's going to pay for the exploration of the oil and gas? We are. Does that make any sense? It makes no sense to me. So, we have a climate crisis. The only thing that makes any difference is to stop investing in oil and gas. The International Energy Agency says it. The United Nations says it. The United Nations said any leader that thinks that further exploration in oil and gas is delusional. Delusional, because it will not work. The only thing that works that is going to make our prices cheaper is green energy. Greener, cleaner, cheaper. Once the investment in green energy is done, it's virtually free. Once you get oil out of the ground, you've got to transport it. And it goes to international prices that dictate the price of it. We still have to buy it. So all we're doing is lining the pockets of the big businesses. So, the media won't tell you that. This lot won't tell you that. So behind these masks is a real person from Bradford. A real person from Bradford that said, we've had enough. We want to do something about it. So one at a time, and we'll start with James Cameron. He's going to take his mask off. What? David Cameron is going to take his mask off and tell us why he did what he did.
I'm 74 years of age. I have 4 grandchildren. And it's because of them that I care about their future, because it looks to me as if climate change is not just something we talk about, it's going to affect their life and our children's life, and it's going to make sure lots of people are refugees, homeless, suffering from droughts, fires and all sorts of mishaps caused by climate change. And it's going to happen quickly if we don't do something now. I'm reminded of a story that's told about people who don't notice about climate change. The frog that is put in the cold water above the stove. The stove is turned on. The frog thinks this is rather nice. The water's getting lovely and warm. It doesn't notice that the water's getting hotter and hotter until it's too late, and the frog cannot jump out because it has been affected too much by the heat. We are in that situation now. We have to realize it, we have to do something about it, and not just talk about it.
And now to Liz Truss. Now, Theresa May.
Hello, my name's Molly. I'm 76-year-old. I happen to be married to the man next to me here. The reason that I took the action that I did was that many years ago in the early 1970s, I worked in Ethiopia and I saw the effect of a drought that was there. Ever since then, I've done whatever I can to try and make people aware of the dangers of climate change. So I've written to MPs, I've been on marches, I've sent emails, I've been to conferences, I went to Paris COP, I went to Glasgow COP. I've done whatever I can until I got to the end of my tether, to my wit's end, and that took me out on the street in London to sit down and say to the world, enough is enough. And I was arrested.
And now to Boris.
I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal, but have been arrested for wanting to stop global warming and the climate crisis. Many states, governments and politicians have dominated and subjugated people and lands for profit throughout history. Colonialism and imperialism kill billions, and the continued investing in fossil fuels will make the climate crisis worse and kill more. Enough is enough. Whose side are you on? The states and governments who create the genocide of the people and the planet, or on the side to see the rebirth of our people and planet to a sustainable way of living?
Thank you, Rod. Well done. And now Theresa. Liz Truss.
Hiya. Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm a retired social worker from Bradford. and very concerned about the future for all of us because of climate breakdown, so including us here in Bradford. Many of us don't know about the risks we face because the media and our politicians are not telling us. We need our government to take strong action urgently to protect us, but they're not doing. Instead, they're granting more licences for new gas and oil, even though the climate scientists, the United Nations, the International Energy Agency, and those who know about climate say we mustn't do that. Our government are criminalising ordinary people like me and these other people here in orange suits because we're taking non-violent action to prevent genocide. It's time for all of us to pick a side.
And now to Rishi.
Hello? Standing on a box.
Hello, my name is Lucy Simpson and I've also been arrested for having enough of the inaction on climate. I don't want the world to burn up. The United Nations is where governments come together and they begin their report on global heating with one sentence. This is it. Fossil fuels, coal, oil and gas, are by far the largest contributor to global climate change, accounting for over 75% of global greenhouse gas emissions and nearly 90% of all carbon dioxide emissions. And yet the criminals in our government continue to develop fossil fuels. So I'm only, as are the others here, a United Nations spokesperson. And yet why is it us who face court proceedings? Please don't stand on the sideline.
And now for Keir. Keir Starmer's going to have his say, hiding in the corner, not answering questions. Here we go.
Well, I hope you take notice of this. I understand that Keir Starmer has promised that he won't drill any more new and gas drills. Will you bear those words in mind, please, next time you hear him speak? Because up till now, no politician has kept their word. I've been an anti-nuclear campaigner since the late 1970s. And again, we've been criminalised for taking non-violent direct action and preventing horrendous humanitarian crimes against people. But with the climate change, we do have a window of opportunity. That window is growing less and less from hour to hour, if you like, but we still have that window of opportunity to bring about, to stop at least the extreme catastrophe. We all know, think back to last year when the temperatures got so hot and it wasn't anything, 40 degrees was it? Nothing compared to Pakistan and the other countries. And as it happens, what is the cause of the climate change? It is the developed countries of the West of the world. The poorer countries of the world are paying the price for all the riches that we've accumulated since the Industrial Revolution, really. When are we going to start taking responsibility? Lots of people as individuals and groups are doing what they can. We're planting trees, we're even becoming vegan, etc., etc. But it won't be enough unless governments take action at governmental, national level and international level. And that is the appeal today, to stop the process of going towards more climate and earth warming. So I hope we will think of something locally and something nationally.
Thank you. you everybody. Our message today is who are the real climate criminals? The one that causing all of this mass destruction or people protesting against it? Think twice when you look at the news, when you see all these people being shifted off the road. Think, why are they there? Why are they blocking the road? Are they all nutters? No, they're desperate. They've tried everything else and it's not working. It takes a lot more of us to make a difference. Please help out.